What's up, guys? Unqualified Critics here. Been a while since we chatted. Recent video, well, kind of recent. It's been a fat minute, really. But the last video I did was talking about the changes at Arcade1up where key leadership people were pushed out. That still stands. I think Arcade1up had this big grand vision of taking all the arcades from 70s, 80s, 90s, which sold millions of units back then, and getting them into the household, which would represent just decades of great sales, great revenues, lots of money to be made, and giving you and me the arcades we want. What they've clearly hit was in trying to give you the arcade you want, costs more than they can make from it, selling in traditional retail channels and shipping it all around the globe and all that. The numbers just didn't quite line up. But there's another wrinkle to this. So a new article just dropped. It's a press release, so know that this does come from CokeM, the distributor from Arcade1up, or at least I think their biggest distributor. I think they might have a couple smaller distributors too. But these guys get Arcade1up merchandise stored and then into retail where you and I buy them. And I really suspected this past year they screwed up and overproduced way too many arcades. I mean, how else do you explain Simpsons being on sale for $1.99? Not for a few days at Walmart, but for like months. A lot of $2.99 discounts. We saw deluxe cabinets all the way down to $2.99, which, man, that's what's up. Like, that's a sweet value in my opinion. Take whatever complaints you have about the deluxe cabs and throw them in the trash if you're only paying $2.99 for it. As a sweet deal, but I don't think it's sustainable. This article kind of reinforces that, but it does have some good news. What they're saying is, and they quantify it, they had tons of inventory, over $50 million worth of inventory sitting at the beginning of 2023. And then through the year, now at the end of the year, they have 17 million sitting. So they were able to chew through most of what they were sitting on. Now, did they sell that at a profit? Did they make a bunch of margin? Probably not. But at a certain point, you got to get rid of the inventory. You can't just hold it and have it collect mold. You got to clear that out, get new inventory in, whether from Arcade1up or someone else. So we know they built too much. We know that the term they've used is right sizing. They right size their inventory levels. So you'd think they'd kind of have this figured out by now, but Arcade1up, at least under its old leadership, seemed to be constantly banking on never-ending growth, and yet that hit the real world where, remember John D telling us it's not his problem if we don't have room for another arcade, and everybody would comment about Arcade1up and say, there's only so many of these I can buy. Not only are there only so many titles I care about, there's only so much space in the house. That's definitely the case. And so I think their premise of let's sell you all these arcades hit the real world of these aren't commercial spaces. We got houses. Some of us got apartments. We only have room for so many. Hence the leadership at Arcade1up are gone. I assume those things are linked. Their business model in the real world just didn't quite line up, but they were close. I mean, look at what they've built. I won't spend a lot of time on this because you guys have seen these all already, but my God, this is what I wanted to see. A year or two after Arcade1up launched. I wish I had a bunch of these cabinets instead of what I have. But we're only getting deluxes for a few brands. There's only a handful here. And I'm ignoring the Atari 50. If that's your jam, more power to you. But it's just different because obviously it's not an original arcade cabinet. But this closer to full size, one-piece construction, no risers. They're not a toy. These are home arcades. Kind of looking like it doesn't make sense for them to make a Golden Axe in this form factor. Kind of looking like it doesn't make sense for them to make a Cubert in this form factor. And we're not getting some of those games that those are games I love more than anything on this screen right now. But I think we're only going to get what's on this screen right now. That's what I expect going forward. I don't think they're going to take more risk. I think they're going to take less risk. I think they're going to produce fewer units to fix these inventory issues, to right size their inventory, which mean less discounts for you and me, but there will always be discounts with product like this, in my opinion, because they're so big and retailers just cannot hold them that long. Anyway, one other point I want to make on this, if you read about how they say it was successful, that they sold through their inventory, the big thing they hang their hat on for the holiday, this past 23 holiday success, at least they're claiming success, was the Infinity Game Table. None of those arcades you and I are into, but guess what? The Infinity Game Table fixes all those problems. You only need one. You can download a bunch of titles. It doesn't take up a lot of room. You can stow it away and be done with it. It's something a lot of families can buy, but it's also a lot riskier. Everybody likes Pac-Man, but do people really want to move from physical board games to digital. I don't know. I wish we knew what the sales were for this. The only hint we get, these core titles are expected to show sales growth of more than 60%, which seem to be referencing the Pac-mans, the Galagas. I mean, look, the shit that we all already have, right? Who cares? But somehow there's someone out there that, I don't know, they keep buying them over and over again, or there's like a black hole that just sucks them in endlessly, and you can just buy 12 of them a year somehow. You got to think they exhaust the demand for those core titles. But you know what? They've tried to give us other stuff, and they just haven't sold. I mean, look at Burger Time. I know they didn't really get that into stores, but they only sold a couple thousand units of that. I mean, that's ridiculous. It took them a couple years to finally blow through all 3,000 units. Look at Golden Axe. The racing titles, I think Fast and Furious, I heard, was their best-selling racing title. But like, what about Outrun? Outrun's super iconic. Presumably that didn't meet their sales targets. They haven't re-released it in this new deluxe form factor. So I don't know. It's interesting. This article suggests that they are finding balance. It suggests that they are fixing their business operations. And it kind of suggests we're not going to be getting really exciting cabinets going forward. I said it before, it's still true. For Arcade1up to give us niche titles, the only way that's possible is if they either figure out how to produce them less expensively, meaning maybe not shipping them all the way around the globe, or more likely connect us with our online cabinets we have now, which seems to be something they're talking about finally, so you can download those titles. So they might not be able to do a Qbert cabinet, but they'll give you a cabinet you can download Qbert. That's a horrible example because the joystick is unique, but you know what I'm saying. More of a AtGames model than an Arcade1up model. Anyway, I don't know if this stuff's all boring to you guys or not, but I just wanted to put it out there. This article is interesting. It shows some hope for Arcade1up going forward. If you see these cabinets on sale any further, consider snapping them up, because those discounts might not be the way going forward. And let's all strap in for a bunch more Pac-Man cabinets and everything else. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. Really appreciate it. Good chatting with you guys. I'll talk to you later.